Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all,
Just stop.
get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, Al. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey.
Hello, all of you out there. It's a good Monday morning for us. Let's talk about the drama with the Kennedys, shall we? All right, so after Robert Kennedy Jr. dropped out of the race for the White House last week, that was big, but the biggest drama comes now from RFK Jr. endorsing Donald J. Trump. He even appeared on stage at a rally with him in Arizona. In response, members of the entire Kennedy family released a statement calling the endorsement a betrayal of, quote, the values that our father and our family hold most dear. The statement was signed by 5 of his siblings. Other members of the family agreed with the statement, but now RFK Jr. himself is responding to the statement. Here's what he said about it on Fox News Sunday. Take a look.
My family is, I understand that they're troubled by my decisions, but, you know, I love my family. I feel like we were raised in a milieu where we were encouraged to debate each other and debate ferociously and passionately about things, but to still love each other. So, you know, they can, they're free to take their positions on these issues. There are many, many members of my family who are working in my campaign, who are supporting me. I have a very big family. There's a few of them that are troubled. But, you know, I think we all need to be able to disagree with each other and still love each other.
Okay, it sounds like a little bit of an understatement. I do know that if RFK himself was alive, he would be crazy upset about him ever supporting the Republican nominee. They are Democrats through and through, the Kennedys. What do you think, Al?
I think he's free to do what he wants. And I think this represents more of America than we'd like to think. I think it would be kind of strange if one family, everybody felt the exact same way. I think every family's got an RFK that's just kind of like, well, hold up, what's up with this? And I don't know about that. He has said and done some things I disagree with, linking vaccines to autism. You know, I have a personal stake in that. But he's free to feel how he wants, Jeff, and his family is free to do the same. I just hope, you know, leaving them alone, that family will be fine, that there are families that are able to move past this, because it has fractured, especially at the height of Trump. I know for a fact a lot of people whose families were fractured because of this. No Thanksgivings, no Christmases. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know if their family would be fine. They've dealt with a lot of tragedy and a lot
the
of
curse of the
politics.
Kennedys is real.
Yeah, it is. But I agree. You know, on the other hand, I agree with a lot of what Kennedy says. I like people who think outside the box. I don't agree with everything he says, but I like people that push.
Jeff, you're not allowed to do that. You have to pick one. Everything's right or wrong.
Exactly. If you're not 100% in, you're not with us. I get that. But I do like a lot of the things that he pushes back on. They might not all be right, but I do like his voice instead of everyone just agreeing with one thing. And as far as family goes, think of your immediate family, let alone brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and second cousins. You're going to have somebody that disagrees with you. I mean, if you have 1 out of 10 that doesn't disagree with you, those are great odds. Family doesn't always get along. Friends don't always get along. But at the end of the day, I like his answer. We're allowed to love each other and put these discussions on the table. That's where we should be. We aren't going to ever get there in America. I've lost faith in that. But in your own family, in your own inner circles, you got to learn to disagree with someone else, because we're all coming at this from different angles, how we were raised, where we were raised, what we believe in, and not everybody's going to agree on a certain subject. Doesn't mean you need to be banished into the woods.
I agree with all of that. I just think when you have the name Kennedy at the end of your name and you go with Trump, you've made an enormous political statement in a world where Kennedy means something more than just a normal family. But yes, for relatable families, I think that's right. But for the Kennedy family, this is a huge divide and a huge break in that family. So we'll see how that happens. It's not just RFK Jr. that's facing backlash for his decision to back Trump. His wife, you might know, actress Cheryl Hines, is also getting roasted online, with people calling her a disgrace. Now, Cheryl did respond to her husband quitting the race, posting this statement to X, thanking everyone that worked on the campaign. However, her message did not mention Trump at all. So how does Cheryl feel about her husband's endorsement? Check out what she said to TMZ about the possibility of this happening back in February of this year. Take a look.
You had been asked whether you would accept a position on the ticket if Trump asked you, and I think your response was, that would be devastating to my marriage.
I think Bobby knows me very well.
Okay.
I think that's
the answer.
That's also why he's not saying anything right now.
I think that's your answer.
Jeff, we've watched her and loved her from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David introduced these two, actually. What do you think about that response? And now what he's done is endorsing Trump. What do you think about it?
I like her response. Stay out of it, right? People want her to blindly take her husband's side. They're agreeing, I'm assuming, by disagreeing, right? And especially Larry, if you don't know, Larry's famously a Democrat. He makes fun of it on the show, and I think in a very funny way. I love the way he approaches it. Yeah, it's very funny. Like, remember that one episode? He's like, he's a Republican? You know? It's just really funny, like how he approaches that. Her career has nothing to do with her husband and his business, in my opinion. I don't want people judging my wife, even though we're famously met on a reality show, with my actions, right? I've done things in my past that are my mistakes or what I want to, you know, what I believe in maybe. She doesn't have to live by the same code that I do. We could agree to disagree, and I think they can too. I'm also very biased because I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I don't want anything to happen to Cheryl Hines.
I don't think love is you go to sleep to it
every day, every day. So, yeah, I mean, I appreciate her staying out of it, but again, I've said over and over, Hollywood is a very democratic business, and if she is associated with someone that now is Republican, it might affect her career.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't, but it might.
Especially when Curb Your Enthusiasm had like a Trump episode, remember when he put the MAGA
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but the idea that she's so in public, do you think she has to respond at all, Al? Nothing?
I don't think she has to, but
it'll hound her.
Jeff, you're talking about an ideal situation in which the internet says, you know what, that's her husband.
Right.
She is going to be lumped in and conflated with this 100%. And I think some of the reaction that we saw in that interview, the kind of agitated body language when they even brought it up, is that, you know, if you are a person that really doesn't care that much about politics, I'm sure she has her feelings about Trump. I don't know what they are, but she has strong feelings. If you are associated with that man, with that last name, with that campaign in any way, your social media is going to be on fire.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, there must be a lot of us that are just like, I just want to post a picture of like, hey, my orchids are growing well. You hate America. Like, whatever goes forward in her life now, it will be political.
Well, people think she's complicit.
Right, and I don't think that she wants that.
Right.
And it's her partner. Right. So I don't know how she avoids that besides getting a divorce, which is not going to happen. So she's being put in a very difficult spot, and I'm sure she doesn't want that. I'm sure she wants to support her husband kind of on the side and do her TV show. And that is vaporized now. And she knows it, and she's about to find out in a major way.
All right, well, that's not the only Kennedy news out there. There are rumors online. Are you ready for this? That Ben Affleck may be dating Kik Kennedy. Now, Kik is RFK Jr.'s eldest daughter. The two were reportedly spotting hanging out together at Dunkin' Donuts. No, I'm kidding. They're just both Massachusetts. At the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel and other hot spots around town. All right, first of all, a little soon? J-Lo's body is barely cold. She just asked for a divorce.
Yeah.
Like, kick it up a notch with Kik. Like, yo.
I don't know, Jeff. You know, the divorce is announced, but sometimes it's like the divorce happened a year and a half ago.
For them. You don't think it's too quick?
I think they split up a while ago. It doesn't mean I was polling for them, for sure. But I just don't get Ben Affleck. Like, move, man. I was watching a thing with him, and he was on 3rd Street Promenade with his ex-wife and his kids. I get living your life. Always. You see him at the Brentwood Farmers Market all the time.
Always.
And for a guy who the media loves to hate, just stay out of it. I understand living your life and you're not going to control my life, but at a certain point you got to be like, okay, let's not go to the Polo Lounge. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of dive bars in Santa Monica that you could hit up that nobody's going to find you. One being the Lantern. Or no, the Gaslight. Gaslight's open all night. But yeah, some good memories over there. But with everything going on, maybe don't jump on this so soon, or keep it hidden in some sort of way in your $500 million mansion. Build yourself a club and go there.
Maybe you don't want to hide it because you wanted to let J-Lo know I moved on.
That's true. It happened. Now, again, all reportedly, we don't know. But Kik and Ben, we could call him B-Kik. Okay.
No, you should workshop that.
Kik B, coming up on TBL.
That was worse.
We're continuing our conversation about RFK Jr. Dr. Drew is going to tell us his thoughts on it. But first, you've heard of them, the two astronauts stranded in space. They will be there now until 2025. How SpaceX is being tapped to bring them back instead of Boeing. Boeing. Welcome back to DBL. We've got an update on a story we've been following. We can't get enough of this. Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, I hope I'm saying that right, have been stuck in space for 80 days. They were test flying the new Boeing Starliner capsule when the vehicle experienced some problems. They were talking about bringing them back to Earth in that vehicle, but right now NASA has decided that the astronauts will in fact return to Earth in a SpaceX Dragon capsule instead, but not until February of next year. That means these guys will be stuck in space together for another 6 months. This sounds like a Farrelly Brothers movie, first off, but what if they don't, my executive producer was saying, what if they don't get along? Like, what if you don't
6 months.
like the person?
I just don't. I mean, I think that we'll do this story and we'll move on. I mean, but we're Christmas, next New Year's, Valentine's Day, they're still up there,
They were supposed to be there for 8 days out. Like, I wouldn't have packed right. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be so concerned. And again, another Boeing issue with Elon Musk's company coming to save the day.
Yeah, Jeff, what do you think?
They should have put some reality cameras up there, and they had a hit on their hands. Big Brother in space.
I mean, that was during the morning meeting, I was like, is this a script? Because the idea or some kind of game show or something like 6 months in intense.
Can you do
this
it?
is the real kind of like Love is Blind in a way where you're just like, now you're really together forever. This is everybody's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are these people partnered?
No,
are they married?
they are not. They work together, and again, only supposed to be there for that 8-day. Boeing went down, and Elon's saving the day with his SpaceX.
But they are using things that they have never used before, right?
No, that's another group of astronauts that are going to go out and do a spacewalk later that they've never done before. So there's a lot of space Wild West stuff going on.
Yeah, there's the rule, what happens in Vegas and then what happens in Europe. I think what happens in space
Jeffrey.
stays in space. If you're up there for a couple months, do your thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean? You could implode at any time. I'd be like, hey, Jordan, could you hear me? Go for it. Yeah.
What would you do? What would you do? Would you like?
SpaceX would be pretty cool.
I mean, but they.
SpaceX? How does that happen?
I would
Probably
think,
similar to the way that happens down here.
No, I mean, don't, because you're floating. So you'd need some kind of like handle.
Right, yes. Well, that aside, I will say that.
What's really in Al's mind right now?
But yes, that would be great for like 10 minutes, 15
And then you're
minutes.
stuck again with
And
them.
now you're stuck again, and there's going to be awkward. I'm just thinking about it's almost, I'm not even trying to be funny, how you would have to change your mentality if you were in jail.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
Not only in jail, in solitary, because there's no stimulation up there. There's not really any interaction.
It's like torture.
So you would have to fix your mind like, I cannot think about the 6 months. I have to think about the next 10 minutes.
It's like the Chilean miners. Remember those boys that were, and some of those people, the Thai soccer club?
Right.
They had someone down there.
Got two countries.
I know, but the Chilean miners were stuck, and so were the Thai boys soccer club, and both meditated. Because the only way to pass that time is to get real quiet, real still, and just be in the present.
Right. You sounded like you were into this.
I'm fascinated by this because we don't have a lot of regulations up in space. It is the new Wild West. So interesting to see Elon coming in with the white horse. Is that what you say?
No.
Coming up on DBL, friend of the show, Dr. Drew, is talking about the dangers of mixing ketamine with other drugs after the death of Matthew Perry. Welcome back. For the past couple of weeks, our top stories have been either politics or the death of Matthew Perry. And we thought, who better to weigh in on these hot topics than one of our best friends, Dr. Drew. Earlier, we spoke with him just a day before RFK Jr.'s Trump endorsement to get his take on how he thinks this is all going to play out. Take a look. Dr. Drew Pinsky! Good to see you.
I miss you guys so much. Oh my God. Just hearing you guys' voices bring me joy.
We love you.
It's been forever.
Soak it up, buddy.
And now you vaporized since the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Drew, let's jump right in. Always good to see you. We were just talking about RFK Jr. before the break, and I know you had him on your show before and have done panels with him. Does him dropping out and possibly endorsing Trump, as it's being reported, we got it. We don't know if he's supporting Trump, but is this a surprise to you at all?
I figured he was going to do something. I've been loving the fact I've not officially endorsed him until yesterday, actually, and I just love that he's stirring the pot. I feel like we need his brain in Washington D.C. I interviewed Nicole Shanahan yesterday, and she said something that went absolutely viral, which was she said that Friday will be the most important announcement in the history of American elections. And I don't know if she was using hyperbole. She stood by that statement. And so we'll see what he has to announce. It's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific time.
All right, well, let's switch gears to something sad. As an addiction specialist, how have you been reacting to all this Matthew Perry news? Obviously, it's a huge tragedy, and the details seem to keep coming in.
Yeah. So the fact that he was able to get his hands on that much ketamine, and that the medical professional who provided that to him, at least some of it, was somebody he met in treatment, is a disgusting, over-the-top transgression on the behalf of the clinician, number one. And I'm worried about the treatment program where this was allowed to happen. Number two, this is as bizarre as Michael Jackson getting his hands on propofol. The amount of ketamine, the routes of administration, bizarre, like wildly, way out there stuff. And yet, although the press has got its hands on this, the reality is that is probably not the proximate cause of death. I've reviewed the autopsy, and the cause of death is what kills everybody, whether it's Whitney Houston or Prince. He was on an opiate. He was on two different benzodiazepines, lorazepam and Klonopin, which is bizarre. That is what made him not breathe when he went underwater. Ketamine may have pushed him down, but what just suppressed his respiratory drive is the usual combo that should never be taken, benzo, opiate.
But before we let you go, Dr. Drew, we've always loved having you on, and we want to ask, what is your favorite memory from working with us on DBL?
Well, you know, when the producer asked me that, I remember the Super Bowl party I came to, just hang out with you guys. That was it.
There you
but Sam,
are.
right now, but Sam, I'm having a very personal, because it's you asked me the question. I'm thinking back to all of our days on HLN with Bert and stuff, and it really, I'm having kind of an emotional reaction. So there you go. That's what's affecting me right now.
I'm getting emotional too, Dr. Drew, because, you know, we are only a couple weeks away from sunsetting and having you on, and you really kick-started my career.
Well, it's your EP. Go. He's your biggest champion. I mean, I was there saying, "Hey, she's good." Remember us at Dupars or wherever we were,
Yes.
explaining to you how television works.
Yeah, do you remember also you guys at Dupars being like, okay, well, now we are pivoting the show and we're not going to need you anymore?
and both of us going, Sam, it's not you. This is television.
I know.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
It is. You guys have taught me so much, and I'm forever grateful to you, and I love you.
And I do want to tack one more thing onto that Super Bowl party. It's important.
You drove me home.
Yeah, I drove you home, and honestly, that was like that was the first Super Bowl party I wasn't hammered at.
Whoa.
I was sober for that party.
And you drove Dr. Drew
Yeah, and I was like,
home.
this is so weird.
But not because Dr. Drew was hammered.
No.
Let's make that clear.
Yes.
Let's make
I was
that
just
clear.
like, oh, you can drive your own car home. Cool.
Wow.
It was like one perk from being sober. So that was a great memory I have, and that solidified, like, yeah, no drinking, man.
Well done, my friend. It works if you work it.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Drew. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Drew on Rumble. And Drew's got great deals on the revolutionary age-reversing Fatty 15 and True Niagen. I'm not sure if I said that right.
Probably
Supplements. By going to the websites on your screen. You can also use the special codes we've listed to get a deal. Thank you so much for everything over the years, Dr. Drew.
Appreciate
We'll be
you,
right
man.
back.
Miss you.
Way to go, guys. Welcome back to DBL. Can you believe Justin Bieber was only 14 when that song came out?
I feel like you should be roller skating when that song is on. Like, that's like at the roller rink going around.
So
yeah.
cute. Well, now Justin has a baby of his own. He and Haley announced the birth of their son on Friday. Justin posted this sweet pic with the caption, "Welcome home, Jack Blues Bieber." Jack is Justin's father's middle name, and it fits the pattern because all his siblings have the initials JB, including his dad. He also famously tweeted, do we have that tweet, Karen? Oh, we don't. There's one point from old school where he's like, "That's my boy Blue," and they named the baby's middle name Blue, and people are saying it's because of that.
I love it.
Old school.
Jeff, you happy for your boy? He had a lot of ups and downs. He made it, man.
Yeah, he's been through it, man. He's lived a couple lifetimes, so I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy for his next chapter.
Shout out. Tori, it's a baby what?
It's a baby Bieber. We'll see you tomorrow.
You didn't do the accent.
Oh, reindeer? I can't. That's about rape.